Punkinnonstop. Punkin replays.
Welcome to episode 52.5.
He's like, hi. I'm like, hi. He's like,
Busey.
are you guys new around here? We're like, yeah, we just moved in not too long ago. Why? What's up? And they're like, he's like, oh yeah, me and my wife just moved to the area about a year ago. We're like, okay, good
A
for
true
you.
local.
He's like, you know, we live up to the road by the lake, blah blah blah. We're like, okay, good for you.
Come over sometime.
Oh, he's like, you know, I moved to this area and I found that all these different churches around here are not as good as what they used to be back where I'm from. So I found this one church. It's right down the road from here. We're like, oh fuck, is he a
You
Mormon?
got recruited. Got him.
Like, is he a Mormon? He's like, oh, come to the church. It's a community church. It's like a mega church. It's the biggest fucking church in the fucking county.
Jesus. Also, my
He's like, yeah, come to the church. He's like, you know, come to the church. It's an amazing church. You can visit us in person. We have sermons this day, and this day, or you can listen to us online, or blah, blah, blah. And he's just going off. I'm like, oh God, can I close the door, please?
Jesus.
He's like, well, just hear him out. I'm like, I don't want to.
No.
I just gave her a look. I'm like, please, can we stop? And he's just going. There's Garey Busey sitting in the corner talking to himself about church. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, oh, here, I got this for you. It's a ladies' night. My wife's going. Her name's Cindy. You know, can I have your phone number to give to her so she can call you and see if you're coming to it? And I look at the piece of paper. I don't even know what fucking time. I don't know what date it is. I'm like, oh, Bree, don't you work that day? And she looks at me and she's like,
yeah.
Oh, it took her a second. She's like,
you're like just staring at her, like staring through
yeah, I'm
her.
just like, I'm like, don't you work that day? She's like, oh yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm like, thank you for finally realizing that. I meant that.
Fuck.
And he's just like, oh well, that sucks. Well, here, come take this card. It's the church's card. It's a fucking business card for the church. And I'm like, oh boy. And he's just like, yeah, come sometime. We got sermons on Sundays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh God Almighty. And he's like, oh, well, where do you work, by the way? And Bree's like, I work as a nurse at the hospital. And he's like, oh, that's nice. What do you do? I'm like, I also work at the hospital. He's like, oh, well, that's good. It's like, oh my God.
He's like, me too.
And
it's like, fuck.
He's just like, well, you know, I got this book for you.
Oh my
and
God.
We're like, oh shit.
Is it the Bible?
And we thought it was good. We thought it was gonna be the Bible. No, it's like, it's called like, Am I Good Enough? Like human and mankind, not good enough to be good, or some shit like that. Like this book is $7 on a Christian bookstore website.
Oh,
and it's like 150 pages. It's a little fucking pamphlet, and it's culty as fuck.
Jesus Christ.
And this guy, like, he's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yeah, thanks, bye. And he shakes our hands. He's like, yeah, fire stick. It's like, oh my God, please leave. He leaves. I shut the door, lock the door, make sure he fucking leaves, and rip apart the business card.
Oh God, release
and
the
Bree's
spirit.
Like, you shouldn't have. And Bree's like, you should have done that. I'm like, why? She's like, because that's rude. I'm like, I don't care. I don't like it when people come to my front door trying to sell shit.
Fuck.
All right, that's enough of the Garey Busey fire stick. I'll send you the photo of the book. It's very culty.
Christ. All right, let me do some outros. Christ. And then that's gonna be like 52.5 because it's like, I think like 4 minutes of just that with like only the green screen footage rolling.
I am so sorry.
You're good. Thank you guys for watching episode 52.5 of Fall Guys.
Garey Busey fire stick!
Basically. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.